Hi, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com and irvingseoexpert.com. SEO is one of the things I do, and I'm doing a series of videos right now called the What Is series, and it's mainly for marketers, people who are beginning to get into marketing online on the internet, and they hear a variety of terms and they don't know what it is. So this video is what is a PBN? PBN stands for Private Blog Network. And let me illustrate that for you. So here at the top of your stack, so to speak, is your what's called your money site, your primary money site. This is your website. So my example here is, just suppose you were a Dallas plumber called AAA Plumbing. I don't know if there's such a company or not. I kind of made that up for this demo. And this is your website, and you know you've had it out on the web for years. And when people type in Dallas plumber into the search engine, you want people to be able to find your website because that will bring you more customers. This is called organic traffic. Let me just show you that real quick. So here I just went to Google and I'm going to type in Dallas plumbers. And you see at the top here, these first three all have that little yellow tag that says ad. That means people are paying money to be up here. And also on the right side, these are all paid ads as well. So Google has a system called AdWords, and a lot of people spend a lot of money to get these ads up there. Then you have what some people call here the snack pack or the map. These are businesses, the top 3 businesses according to Google on this map. And every one of those little red dots is actually a plumbing company. So that's a major part of SEO also, is how to get your business on a map like this. And then you scroll down, you're going to see these different websites, Dallas Plumbing, Angie's List, which is not even a plumbing company. That's a directory that you can find plumbers and other local business people. And then you go on down, and of course there's different plumbers here. So as a business person, if you're a plumber, your goal is to be on the map and or the very top of this list and not have to pay money for these ads. And when people search for, like I just did, for Dallas plumbers, then if you're here, there's a good chance they click on you. That's called an organic search, meaning that people came to your website through an organic method, not through a paid method. Okay, so this is your website at the top. Now, what is a PBN? It stands again for Private Blog Network. So some people say you put here 2 or 3 PBN sites. I'm going to call them, for purposes of this demo, PB sites, private blogs. So what you do is, in addition to your main site, you actually create multiple other blog sites, and each one of those could be called a private blog. And when you have a series of private blogs, that becomes a private blog network, or a PBN. So why are they called private even? Well, that's because you can go out and buy these domains, and they're yours, and you have logins for them, and you can log onto them, and you can put anything you want on them. It's totally under your control because they're private to you. Now, there's another slight variation of this called Web 2.0 or social sites, and Twitter's a good example of one of those. And there's many others, like Pinterest right now is very popular, Instagram, and there's just dozens of those. So some people, and also WordPress.com. So some people also create what's called, they call them PBNs with Web 2.0 sites. Now, whether that's the best terminology for PBN or not, I kind of have a little doubt. But anyway, the point is you can also build those, and they're free. Whereas if you buy your own domains, you're going to pay money for the domains, and you're going to have hosting for them. And then there's tricks about how you have to host your websites. And then the next question is, how many of these PBNs do you need? So here I have an example of 3, but I could draw on out here 4, 5, 10, or 100 of them. And the question is really, how competitive is your keyword? In Dallas, how many plumbers are there? If you live in a small town of 1,000 people and there's only 1 or 2 plumbers, you're not going to need as many PB and private blog sites to be able to rank your website. Now here on these little arrows, what I'm showing here is what's called a backlink. And what you want to do is, working with your SEO expert, you want to determine what the best backlinks are for each of your PBNs. So these are things that people would look for organically. So for instance, when someone's searching for a plumber, they might just type in Dallas plumber, but they might also have an issue, and they might be typing in like repair my hot water heater, or water heater repair, or I need to buy a new hot water heater and have it installed, or hot water heater installation. So there's a whole art there of discovering what the most important keywords are, and that's where you have to work hand in hand with an SEO expert. SEO, of course, stands for Search Engine Optimization. Now those keywords are going to go into what's called an anchor link. And I'm going to get technical here for just a minute. I've gone to a website called w3schools.com, and they teach you a little bit about what's called HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. That's what makes the whole web work. And when a website has a link to another site, this is how it's done. It's called an anchor tag, and you put in the name of the website you want to link to, and then you put in what's called the anchor text. And this anchor text can be anything you want to. So I scrolled on down this page, and here's an example of create hyperlinks. So when I put my mouse over that, let me scroll up here. Now as I mouse over here, if you look at the very left bottom of my screen, you can see the URL, or the URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Again, sorry to give you so many acronyms here, but that's the website that's going to go to if I click that link. And then actually here's a web page they give you where you can actually build your own anchor links and test them. So here's an example of, they have the word HTML reference. You see it over here. And then it's going to go to a page called default.asp. So when I click that, it's going to a certain web page on the W3 Schools site that begins with default.asp. And then I can hit the back key and come back to where I was. So anyway, I hate to give you that much technicality, but that's how anchor tags work. So I was afraid that if I didn't explain that to you, you wouldn't understand here what these little keywords mean, because those keywords are links in those websites. Now, where people, the SEO experts, all kind of differ as to how many PBNs you need, but also should the PBNs link to each other? How many links should go from the PBN to your money site? Should it go to your main page, your home page, to 5 different pages? How many blogs do you need to have on your PBNs, your private blog networks? How often do you need to update those sites? And another key factor is those websites need to look real. They need to look like they're maintained by real human beings, and that they can't look junky or automated, or else Google knows that people are out there doing this. And so you need to make your private blogs as realistic looking as you can, and so you don't want any what they call footprints or any patterns that Google can detect that these are actually private blog sites. Now down here, this is called Tier 1. So if you have social websites like Twitter or your private blogs linking to your website, this is called Tier 1. And you want Tier 1 to be very high quality. Like the articles on these private blogs should be very good quality, because your website can be hurt if these websites are bad. And so that's where some people get in trouble. They get cheap links, or they go out and buy links somewhere, and then these websites are not high quality links back to their site. And then you get into all these things called the Google, the Panda, and the Penguin updates and penalties. Then that can really hurt your website. So that's something you have to be careful about. So as they say, don't do this at home, contact a professional. Now we have Tier 2 here. And those are basically links to Tier 1, and then you have Tier 3, and those are links to Tier 2. And I'm not going to get into all how this can be done. This is where it gets even more technical. How many of these links do you need? And what tools do you need to build them, and so on? You can see that if you have 3 PBNs or 3 private blogs here, you might need actually 5 or 10 websites linking back to each of those. And then if that's 5 or 10 websites, you might need for each of those 5 or 10 websites. And now you're talking about hundreds of websites and hundreds of links. And that's where kind of the magic of building a stack or a pyramid, or it's called different things, to force the flow of trust, it's called, from all these sites up to your site. And the goal of this is, it may take a few months to do it, but if you have a good guy working with you, he can make your website come up to the top of the search engine, so that when someone searches for hot water heaters in Dallas, your website will come up, if that's your goal and your desire. So this has been Neil Walters with What is a PBN, a private blog network. Again, you can check me out at irvingseoexpert.com if you want to know more about SEO and how I can help you there. Or if you just want to see all my other videos, my main video channel on YouTube is called Neil's Videos, Neals, neilsvideos.com.